Today's literacy lesson. Today we're going to recap the features of human and physical geography and look at the research templates for you to start researching your own island. Okay, so just a quick recap. You should have had a look at this yesterday, but if you didn't, then here it is. So human features of geography are man-made elements of a location. So here we've got some examples: a city, a town, a village, a shop, a factory, a house, an office, a farm, a harbour, or a port. And physical geography features are things that naturally occur, so things that aren't man-made. So here we've got some examples. The weather is naturally occurring. Beaches, coastlines, forests, hills, rivers, mountains, valleys, cliffs, the seasons, the sea or the ocean, and vegetation, which is another word for plants, and soil. They're all physical features of geography. So when we're looking at our own island, we want to be spotting the different human physical features. Let's have a look at this map of Stray from the Katie Morak stories that you looked at yesterday. So here we've got a map of all of the different features of the island. So these red squares here show different buildings. Do you think buildings are a human or a physical feature? That's right, they're human, because houses and buildings like Ronald and Donald's and Mrs. Baxter's would have been built by a human. Can you spot any physical features on this island? So the physical features haven't been specifically labelled, but you can see a few here. So you can see this big lake in the middle. You can see these little blue squiggly lines. What do you think those might be? So those might be rivers. So you can see different farms as well. Would farms be physical or human? Farms would be human as well, because farms don't naturally occur on an island. What about this here? You can see a green space with lots of trees and a river running through it. Would that be human or physical? It would be physical because it's naturally occurring. So now we've had a look at some of the human and physical features on the Isle of Stray. Let's have a look at the template that you're going to be filling out when you research your own island. Be using to research your chosen island. Oh my goodness, what have I done? There we go. And I thought it would be nice if we did some research together so that you knew what to do when you came to filling out your own template. So we've got some boxes here. Next to island name, I've put the Galapagos Islands because those are the islands that I'm really interested in because I'd quite like to go on holiday there. So I've got a box for the location, so that's where your island is. So you would describe whereabouts it is in the world, like what continent it's on, and if it's close to any other countries. And you've got a box for its size, so you can say whether it's a big or a small island, and maybe give if whatever website you're looking on has information about exactly what size it is, you can put that on there as well. And the climate, if you remember what climate is, I think we might have talked about it before, but the climate is whether it's a tropical island, whether it's a like cold island, like Katie Morag's island, which is based off of the Isle of Coll in Scotland. Then we've got a box for human features, so try and have a think, what kind of things would you put under human features? So things that are man-made. And then under physical features, that's where you would describe any beaches or mountains or anything that might be on your island. And then I've put a box here. This one on your template will be empty, but I've put did you know, because you could put some fun facts on there as an example for something you might do. But I want you to pick an island that you're really interested in, that you'd like to go on holiday to, because that's going to make your research a lot more interesting if you're looking up things that you want to find out. You could maybe even look back through your circle maps, and if there are any questions on there that you want to answer, maybe researching a specific island will give you an answer to some of your questions. This website is called Encyclopedia Britannica, and in Encyclopedia, it used to be that you'd have a set of lots of volumes of huge books like this in your house instead of the internet, and instead of doing a Google search, you'd look through these encyclopedias because they'd have the answer to everything that you wanted to find out in them. We've actually got a set of old encyclopedias in the cupboard, so I might have to get them out and show you. So this is volume 1 of the encyclopedias that we have in my house. And you can see down the side here it says The Children's Encyclopedia by Arthur Mee. And this is only one volume. We've got lots of other volumes of this, and it has the pages here 1 to 764, so it's very long. And the only trouble with writing encyclopedias in a book is that it becomes out of date very quickly. So that's why the internet is so good, because it can be updated whenever you need it. So if we open it up, it's very old. And this was actually left to us by an old next door neighbour when she moved away. It's got a portrait of Queen Elizabeth looking very young there. Portrait of Arthur Mee, who wrote these encyclopedias. It says all about what the books are about. This is the clock of the world. Trying to find the contents page, if there is one. So because this is a children's encyclopedia, there's actually a lot of pictures in here. So it's got lots of things about animals. And normally they're in alphabetical order, and you'd flip to the letter that you were looking at and you'd look up whatever it was you wanted to find out about. But I think this one is in groups. So you've got animals, and then this is plants. They're actually very lovely books, but like I said, this one's very old. So most of the information in here is probably out of date now, but it's still nice to have a look at sometimes and think about how people used to look up information before the internet existed. But this is an online encyclopedia, so what you can do on this one is type anything that you want to find out about in this search bar here. So I'm going to type in the Galapagos Islands because that's what I want to find out about. Press enter. So here we've got a lot of information already that we can see. So if we click on this link, it should take us to a page all about the Galapagos Islands. Yep, here we go. So it's already got some information about the location there. It says Ecuador, which is in South America. So the Galapagos Islands, and it's got its Spanish name. Can you remember what archipelago means? It says it here. It's an island group of the Eastern Pacific Ocean, and it's a province of Ecuador. And it should have a map. Here we go. Yeah, so this is a map of where it is. So you can see Ecuador is right here, and that's what the Galapagos Islands belongs to. That's its country. So if you would like to, you don't have to type out the location on your template. What you could do is just copy and paste the image over the top of the location box instead. Or if you're doing it on paper, you could try and draw the map, or you could print it off and stick the map onto your template. It's all up to you. And it won't let me paste it right into the box, I don't think, but I can shrink it down and put it under here, and you can still kind of see it there. All right. So for under a Did You Know feature, a good example of that might be the fact that it's an archipelago or a group of islands. Islands are a group of islands or an archipelago, because that really shows that you know your geography terms. The Galapagos Islands are formed of lava piles. That's an interesting fact as well that you could have if you were doing the Galapagos Islands. It shows how they were discovered, and it's got some of the species that live there as well, and I think there's some videos that you can watch too, which might be quite interesting. So this isn't the only place you can get your information. There are lots of other places out there. You could do a quick Google search. So you could type in physical features of the Galapagos Islands. I've already searched it before, so it came up straight away. And then one of the first websites that comes up is actually the National Geographic Society, which is another website that I linked to on the home learning sheet. And if you click on this, it has lots of information about the wildlife that lives there. So the marine iguana is the only known iguana to swim in the ocean. So that would be a really cool box to have. So you could have, instead of in one of your blank boxes, you could put wildlife, and then you could put the marine iguana. So remember that if you get stuck or if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to email us, and we will definitely do our best to help you. And don't feel like you have to sit there and struggle with it if you really need some help, because I know research can be quite tricky because there's so much stuff out there for you to choose from. Hopefully this video helped to know where to navigate through things. And also remember that if you have an iPad with Siri or if you have an Alexa, you can ask that questions too, and that saves you from having to type all of the questions into Google, and it might save you quite a lot of time. Okay? Have fun, and I look forward to seeing all of the cool facts and things that you find out about your chosen island. And remember to pick an island that you are really, really interested in and that you're going to enjoy researching. Bye!